Hey guys, Foxy is trading here, back with another crypto video for you guys, and we are back talking about memecoin. Now on their Twitter, really not much happening, not even on tweets really. They tweeted happy Thanksgiving, just two memes, and really that's about it. So today's video is going to be purely on market structure and how price is moving, and price is kind of moving interesting. So we are up on price on the week, slightly down in market cap, but the volume has been hit a little bit, down 49%. So people are not buying up right now, and I think it's pretty obvious why. We're going to talk about it in just a second. 87% on the community bullish sentiment, and obviously still waiting for big exchanges, especially Coinbase, hopefully soon. So looking at the charts, right? What do we have drawn up? What do we have going on? Well, just like every single video, let's do a recap before diving in to current price. So we have been trending down, right? We have our high, we have a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, right? Trend to the downside. Okay, awesome. We have been trending down relatively for a long time. Now let's zoom in to the last couple of days / weeks and what price has given us. Because as many of you guys can probably already tell, what I'm about to say is we had our lower low right here, right? And we formed a higher low, right? Which is a start of a bullish pattern. Not only did we form a higher low, we also formed a higher high from this high, right? We formed these highs right over here. And now most likely we are going to form another higher high. So why are people not buying up right now? Well, to me, what makes sense is we had this immense amount of buying pressure, right? And then yesterday we started to kind of run out of the buying pressure, and now the sellers are in control. So what I think is going to happen is that price is going to head down to this daily fair value gap, possibly consolidate a little bit here before the push to the upside. Now, what also is interesting is we had this daily fair value gap formed right here, right? This is our imbalance in price, and we closed above it, but we were not able to push any higher up. And then we got a correction to the downside and we closed below it. So a closure below this daily fair value gap usually to me would indicate that some form of liquidity would want to be swept, right? Now, I said in my previous video that this is where the large amount of liquidity and money is being held, and I'm certain that there is a bunch of buy orders right over here. There's a bunch of liquidity, right? And I myself even have a leverage trade right over here on this sweep of liquidity, because I think it is such a great play. And just in case, you know, I'm sleeping and it gets triggered and then boom, I want to have it set and ready to go. But when a closure below this happens, right away, I'm thinking not that this liquidity will be swept because it's quite a while away. I'm thinking that this smaller substructure of liquidity right here is going to be swept, right? Because this liquidity swept the previous candle and the next two did not sweep it, right? So we know that this is also a strong set of liquidity, not as strong as this. Obviously, this would be your strong low, but on a substructure kind of formation, this is what you would be looking for. So I would have thought that price would want to do this before trying to push up and then give us a push to the upside. Now, why did we get this candle? Well, it's because markets are heavily manipulated, at least for this week, right? So I talked about it on some of my other crypto videos. So if you guys watch that, you know what I'm about to say right now. But on Sunday, right, we can see on Bitcoin, Sunday night, Thanksgiving weekend, everything's closed, banks are closed, institutions are closed, trading hours are closed. We get this massive shift, push to the downside, a dump from 91,000 to pretty much 85,000, right? Instantly, very quickly gone. when things should not be gone at that hour. Now, what happened there? Very simply put it, they just manipulated the market, right? They swept liquidity that they wanted here. They kind of reset. They took their shorts. They liquidated their Bitcoin. They made their money, and then they were happy, right? And then the sellers basically took their profits here in this area and then just let the market rebalance itself naturally. Okay. So after this massive imbalance, we got a rebalance in price because, as we know, markets love to rebalance themselves. And that is also reflected in Brett, right? We had this push, which followed Bitcoin's dump. Then we consolidated a little because they took their profits. So market started to consolidate because it didn't have enough buying pressure to go up, but the sellers have stopped and taken their profits, right? And then we just got a simple correction to the upside. And that is why I believe this liquidity was not swept, because these 2 days were just manipulation. Okay. So now we are hopefully done with the manipulation, right? And we just follow a very simple market structure. And our market structure is this daily fair value gap being tested and pushed to the upside for this zone to see how it holds up, because we know that these imbalances of price are strong areas, right? We have one right over here. This imbalance we can see for 5-6 days in a row, it got tested and it said, I'm not ready to push above, and we're going to get a push to the downside. So likewise, very, very soon, we could see that this closure above will give us a strong push to the upside, and then we will start to phase into a bullish pattern. So do I think we are shifting bullish? I would say so. Okay. I would say this is a start of a bullish pattern, right? We have our lower highs, right? We have our, higher lows. We have our higher high from this area, then a followed higher high, and now another higher high, right? So we are starting to shift bullish, and that's very, very good. That's what we want to see, right? We want to start seeing some bullish price action. Now, do I think we're going to get above this zone by the end of the month? It might be difficult. I think December is a slower month for crypto and just the markets in general. If you look statistically in the past for things like the Forex market or gold or NASDAQ or futures, whatever it is, right? December is usually slower. People are going on vacations. Trading hours for banks are getting closed earlier. Just a lot of things are happening in December. So I wouldn't be surprised if we are kind of bouncing like this. And my plan, not as an investor of Brett, but as a trader, would be to see if we close, if we test this daily fair value gap and we are not able to close above it, I will simply take a short back into here, and then most likely probably a long back into here. Just try to make some money from the box trading, which sometimes could be very easy, right? Until we get that expansion to either side, and that's when the box trading ends. Will that happen? We're going to have to see and wait for how price is reacting. But I do think as both an investment and as a trade potential, I think buying in this area is a very good idea, right? We need to see if it gets respected. When it gets to this area, don't just instantly click it. If there's a lot of selling pressure, right? One candle like this and then the next candle like this, you know that this area is not being respected. And then more likely than not, this liquidity will be taken. Will this liquidity be taken in the future? We're close, right? I would have loved that the liquidity has been taken, because I don't love when price runs without sweeping major liquidity. Yes, it will happen for many altcoins. It will happen because the manipulation candle will not get rebalanced completely, right? Some cryptos are right here in rebalance. I don't think they're going to go all the way down like that, but we were very close. So it is still possible, and I will update you guys if we do get a closure below here, because then these two could be great targets and absolutely fantastic investments and trade opportunities. So you guys now know my game plan on Brett, how I see the market moving, where it's going, where I look to be buying, right? Here, here, here. Those are my 3 targets. Remember, you can always scale in. You don't have to put, let's just say you have $1,000 to invest. you don't have to put all 1,000 right in here, right? You can do something like 300, 300, 300, and then a confirmation play 100 here, right? It doesn't all have to be here. It just depends how you want to play out your investments. It's really all up to you. So if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you leave a like, comment any questions, concerns, Brett to the moon. Hit that subscribe button. It really does mean a lot to me. Make sure you guys do your own research because I'm not a financial advisor, and I'll see everybody in the next video.